Welcome to Homestead Reptile, and I've decorated the gecko room for the holidays, and I wanted to talk to you guys about Korean breeders versus breeders in the United States, and just to show off my enclosure. So this is how I keep them. I love showing off my enclosures. I try to keep things as clean as I possibly can. They're bioactive, and I love my geckos, and I like to treat them very, very well. And there are some enclosures here that don't have anything in it, like that hexagon that is a container of dirt. And I do have a sweet potato over there. I'm growing some sweet potato vines to move into some enclosures later down in the future. But I'm seeing a lot of people being kind of buttholes about this subject. So people who are getting on the Korean breeders because they don't think they are caring for them well, or not to the standards of their liking. So 99% of people that purchase geckos from an expo or morph market, they just purchase that gecko without doing research with that breeder. And so they do not know how those babies were kept. You don't. So I've done it. So I've gone to an expo. My first gecko, Obsidian Butterfly, I was like, I just got her. I bought her. I thought she was pretty. I got her for a good deal. And I never looked up anything about that breeder. I never did. My first gecko, I never did. I never looked up how the babies were kept. I never did any research into that breeder. I just purchased her. So now, since I'm on Instagram and I'm Instagram's friends with a lot of the breeders I've purchased my geckos, I happen to be on their pages, and a few of them keep their geckos the same way I keep my geckos, but a few of them don't and keep them in rack systems. So am I upset that I purchased some geckos that were kept in rack systems? No. The rack systems were fine. They were well kept, they were well maintained, and they were clean. And I like to purchase now, I try to purchase geckos from people that have like to show off their enclosures and are proud of their enclosures. So it doesn't matter if they're keeping them with bioactive, as long as they're clean, they're of a decent size, the animals are not stressed, I'm okay with it. It's not the end of the world to keep a gecko in a rack system. I mean, I prefer not to. I like my naturalistic stuff. It's just my preference, and that orange stuff is a type of vining. It's not a vining plant. Well, it's the roots of a vining plant. So those are roots binding that up. But like I said, you don't need to be mean about it. You don't need to be rude about it. And if you don't want to purchase from those particular breeders, don't purchase. We all have our standards. We all do. So it's like, I won't purchase certain things because I don't like the way they're doing something, or I don't like the way they care for their animal. I won't purchase from them. But if you have never looked into where all your geckos are coming from, or where that particular baby is coming from, you don't really have, you have the right, but you're being a bit of a hypocrite, because most breeders keep very similarly to those Korean breeders. So they'll keep in rack systems, drawer thingies, all that stuff. Like I said, it's not my favorite way to keep geckos, and I've personally never kept in a rack system. I've kept geckos in tubs, and you can see those shoe boxes. I keep babies in shoe boxes. So is it wrong to keep my babies in shoe boxes? No. If you're really angry about me keeping babies in shoe boxes, just don't purchase.